Thousands of troops left their homes here in Florida to fight the war on terror. Some sacrificed their lives.
Others who returned now face a long road to recovery. Bianca Castro shows us how community groups are helping them heal.
At just 25 years old, Specialist Luis Puertas has faced more challenges than most his age. In 2006, while serving in Iraq, his convoy was hit by an explosive device. Luis was behind the wheel. He lost both legs on impact.
I thought that would be it, that, I would never have fun ever again in my life, or that everything would be really difficult.
But this September, we caught up with Luis as volunteers started work on a project that will make his life easier. The nonprofit Home for Our Troops is building him a new home. The group builds houses for disabled vets.
These guys don't have immediate access in their homes.
As was the case with Luis, when he's not in prosthetics, he uses a wheelchair to get around.
I need to hop out of the wheelchair and crawl pretty much in the ground to the top.
But in the new home, hallways will be wide enough for his wheelchair and countertops will be lower than average. Once the house is complete and Luis moves in, he won't have to worry about a mortgage or property taxes. Even his monthly bills will be low because the house is being built with green materials.
He's going to have a house with just under $100 a month electrical bill.
Construction will only take 2 months, and we learned Luis will be completely moved in by the end of the year.
It's also going to give me back the freedom that I haven't been able to have in my own home.
And we'll soon have a new memorial to honor all of our local veterans. Lake Nona donated land for it in Orlando's Medical City. Our 9 Family Connection partner, CFADA, is helping to build a Veterans Memorial Park at Lake Nona. It'll be located next to the VA hospital currently under construction. It will honor more than 1,100 veterans from Central Florida who have sacrificed their lives for our country.
Several groups are helping injured veterans here in Central Florida. The Inside Credit Union's Cruise for a Cause motorcycle poker run in Leesburg benefited Hope for the Warriors. In fact, I was there to help present a check for $17,000.
We do a lot of good. We do it from our heart. We do it with the help of organizations like yours, of events like these. We couldn't do it without you.
The Hope for the Warriors organization helps support wounded and fallen U.S. service members and their families. Coming up, we'll take you through the process.
See how local veterans wounded in service can rediscover their freedom.
Local patriots keep the American spirit alive. Some have suffered terrible injuries in their missions overseas, but the Wounded Warrior program helps them recover here at home. Sergeant Juan Valentin fought terrorists in Afghanistan.
It was very hostile every time we would go out, and we would get into engagements with the enemy.
This is actual footage shot by a National Geographic crew embedded with Juan's unit.
We got stuck at night on a set of a hilltop. We found some IEDs on the road. The second vehicle that came up and parked next to us, from me to this wall here, hit an IED. I was thrown from the vehicle, landed on my back on the floor, had shrapnel wounds. I messed up my back, helmet ripped off my head, my headset bent, and I blew out an eardrum.
He recovered and returned to the fight, but discovered something had changed.
Coming out!
I was pursuing my bachelor's degree at the time, and I noticed that after that injury, my grades started sinking and sinking and sinking. I had no idea what was going on.
Juan was diagnosed with traumatic brain injury. Like so many other injured veterans, he needed help. And volunteer groups like Hope for the Warriors had something to give.
We fill the gap on what the VA can't do, what the DOD legally cannot do. They can't buy beds for somebody. They can't send them on a vacation. We do a multitude of things for veterans, from flying members to bedside, to helping them with adaptive needs that they might have after they've left the hospital, to granting wishes, all the way through to helping them transition out of the military with career help, from resume writing to mentoring to helping them do interviews, that kind of thing.
In addition to helping wounded warriors and their families rebuild their lives, many groups offer adaptive sports as a form of therapy. An organization dedicated to wounded Special Operations Forces introduced Juan and his wife to scuba diving, with a trip to the Caribbean island of Bonaire with other wounded veterans.
That trip to Bonaire, that's what it was. It was the wives actually breathing for a change and thinking, wow, I got my husband back. It was a very, very great experience.
The weightless underwater world provides a therapeutic environment which helps eliminate pain. And breathing oxygen-enriched air has been proven to help heal wounds and internal injuries.
They encourage you to get out there, get in the water, and do something different. And it really has helped. Every organization has put in time and the effort that makes everything we do today possible.
They said, this is a great opportunity to get out there and do something different from what I was used to doing. So I said, I'll give it a try. We did a couple pool things, and then we got out into doing the open sea certification, and I loved it. Scuba diving is actually a great way to do therapy and just to get out there and meet up new people and have some fun.
As the guys come through the program, the wounded folks come back and they act as mentors for other people. Nathan was one of our wounded guys. Now, one of my best mentors and kind of my ambassador for this particular wellness type activity. He goes out, finds guys that want to do it, calls me, we put the package together and offer them these type of opportunities to do these type things.
What we're going to do here today is something that's very exciting, very fun. We're going to share the underwater world of speed with some of our favorite warriors in the world. These are men that have given everything for our country. We're going to give them as much back today as we can to get them weightless and have a lot of fun doing it.
It's great to be able to share that experience with nature and how it is in just a different environment. I think the biggest factor is that it reminds me that I'm not as limited as people would think I would be. I could do what I have been able to do for my whole life.
The freedom of being underwater is really, really exhilarating. So much easier to move than when you're on land, pushing a wheelchair around. When you're underwater, there's really no barriers. Your legs really are out of the equation. I use gloves that are webbed, kind of like frog feet, and so they allow me to pull myself through the water pretty effectively at low speeds, like the speeds that you'd use for reef diving. So I really didn't need my legs at all. These kind of things really do benefit us in more ways than are obvious. They do a lot for us. It's like psychological therapy. Really helps us to feel normal again and takes us out of that sense of feeling like we're disabled if we ever. So most of us don't have too much trouble with that, but even when you feel good about yourself, it always helps to get a little boost.
It gives hope to those who are freshly wounded. It gives people the ability to say, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it.
Volunteers make up many of the organizations that serve wounded warriors, and the need is growing every day as more soldiers are injured.
The wars are drawing down, but that doesn't mean that these incredible young men and women that have sacrificed so much, their lives have been forever altered. We as a society have an obligation to make sure that we give them everything they can do to achieve success in their new path. SOCOM's Care Coalition, their motto is that we've got you for life. It does go on forever. Obviously, the reintegration piece is just one more step, and then there's the sustainment phase where we're always following up with these guys to make sure that they are doing okay.
Conflict itself is winding down, but we don't have a limit to when we will help. If you need our help and you were injured in combat, we will help you. We are seeing a growth in requests from people that were injured as far back as 2003, 2005. So it's not just that they're being injured today. Whenever they were injured, they're needing our help now. And those needs aren't going to go away, no matter how far down the road it is and if the conflict ends. So we'll be here.
From aid for wounded warriors to health care for the uninsured to food and shelter for struggling families, we thank you.
So many groups and volunteers gave back to our community this year. For example, you came out in a big way to support SPCA's Wiggle Waggle Walk in Altamont Springs. It raised more than $90,000 to benefit homeless dogs and cats.
2,000 volunteers rolled up their sleeves for the United Way's Days of Caring, including Channel 9 staff and our 9 Family Connection partners.
Nearly 8,000 runners and walkers laced up their shoes and joined Vanessa Eccles for the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. They raised more than $300,000 to help find a cure for breast cancer.
Some 16,000 donors here in Central Florida set a fundraising record at the American Heart Association's annual Heart Walk. It raised more than $1.2 million to help fight heart disease and stroke.
By focusing on education, health, safety, and the quality of life together, we are making a difference in Central Florida.
Thank you for watching.